Welcome to Raise the Line with Osmosis.org, seeking solutions with leading experts on how to increase healthcare capacity so people can get the care they need during the COVID-19 crisis and beyond.
Hi, I'm Shiv Gaglani. We've been fortunate to speak to many medical educators in the United States over the past 2 years on Raise Line about the state of medical education and how learning has been impacted by the COVID pandemic. Today, we're going to broaden our scope on these topics to Central Asia with the help of two officials from the Samarkand State Medical Institute in Uzbekistan. We have Mahzuna Nasretdinova, who is in the Vice-Rector's Office for Science and Innovation, and Dr. Muzaffar Annaev, who's a leading specialist of the Department of Scientific Research and Innovations. Thank you both for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you for also.
And we'd like to start by hearing the stories of our guests. Can you explain what made you personally interested in becoming a medical educator, going into medicine and doing health education?
Actually, Samarkand State Medical University is alma mater for me. So I studied here and I graduated my bachelor degree here. So when I was a student, on the other hand, I was a doctor. And at the same time, I wanted to be doctor and a medical educator also. And for this reason, after working 1 year as an ambulance doctor in Uzbekistan, I studied my master degree in South Korea as a cardiologist in Chungnam National University. And this time actually was the most important decision-making time, I would say, being medical educator, because my professor, my supervisor in Chungnam National University inspired me so to teach medical students. And after that, I thought, if I will be doctor, maybe I can help hundreds of people, patients. But if I will be medical educator, by teaching students, I can help maybe hundreds times more people. So it was an inspirational moment for me. And after that, I decided to be a medical educator. At the same time, now I work in the hospital also as a cardiologist.
That's great. That's very relatable. I was in medical school at Johns Hopkins and then started Osmosis for the same exact reason. You're able to help many, many more people.
Yes.
And how about your colleague's story? I know you'll have to translate, but we'd love to hear her story as well.
Потому что все-таки, я не знаю, наверное, потому что...
Of course, being doctor is good, but I think personally for me, it's more interesting being a scientist and teach young students. And also I would like to build our own scientific school in Samarkand State Medical University.
Wonderful. For the people who are not as familiar with Samarkand State Medical University, it's a prestigious institution in Uzbekistan. It's very highly regarded. Can you give us a bit more information on how many students you have, a little more history of the program, and how it's growing? I hear that there's a lot of international expansion beyond Uzbekistan.
Let me answer to your question because at the same time, I work as a Deputy Dean of International Medical Education Faculty. Currently, in Samarkand State Medical University, by the way, we became university by special decree of the president. Just it was announced 2 or 3 days ago, in April 1st. We are now Samarkand State Medical University, and on the base of our university, now planning to be opened 6 scientific centers. And also in our university now more than 8,000 students. It includes bachelor degree students and also graduate students. And with regard to foreign students, we are now on the way of expansion of the faculty, international medical education. Currently, we have 456 students who study in MBBS faculty. They are mostly from Pakistan and India. And another direction in this faculty, it is a second degree. So we also teach foreign students, educate foreign students, the second degree. So after bachelor degree, they can study in our university and second degree. It is general medicine faculty. So in this faculty now, 48 students, they are mostly from South Korea. And also we have joint educational programs with different countries, including Belarus, Russia, and Poland. So overall, in the Faculty of International Medical Education, study more than 650 students. If I speak about the history, Samarkand State Medical University, one of the ancient university, I would say in Central Asia overall, not in Uzbekistan, in Central Asia. It was founded in 1930. On that time, it was single medical educational establishment in whole Central Asia. And starting from 1930 until now, our university is developing its education and also practical fields. And now trying to be a leading university in Uzbekistan. And I, as a student, a graduate of this university, and as a student who studied abroad, also helping to make education quality in this university better.
That's extremely helpful. Thank you for that overview. And it's impressive how you've grown since starting almost 100 years ago, 1930.
Yes.
Speaking of making education better, you have a very interesting background. You trained in South Korea, in Uzbekistan. I'd love to hear some of the innovations and changes you've made to your medical education. For our audience, the way we got in touch with Samarkand State Medical University is through Elsevier.
Yes.
As you know, Osmosis just joined Elsevier, and I believe earlier this year you signed a major deal to provide access to textbooks and other digital resources from Elsevier to your students. What other innovations are you doing to improve medical education for your students?
Okay. Hozirda deyapti universitet tushuntirib berganingiz uchun rahmat deyapti qisqacha. Endi hozir ta'lim sifatini yanada yaxshilash uchun sizlar qanaqa innovatsiyalarni, qanaqa yangiliklarni kirityapsizlar universitetlaringga, shu haqida tanishtirib bera olasanmi deb.
Yangi fakultet, universitet bo'ldi, yangi fakultetlar ochilyapti.
Okay, we discussed it, so I explained the question. Well, about the innovations, I think I found the best position for me in this university, working as a leading specialist in this scientific department. With my boss and with the rector of our university, we are planning to implement some changes, reforms to our education system starting this year. Actually, in the beginning of this year, the special degree of Uzbekistan adopted by the government of Uzbekistan and our university has been announced as an independent university. Before it was state university, but what's changed now, we became independent by finance and academic aspects. So now it's right time to make plans for innovations and future reforms. And according to the business plan of our university, we are starting next year developing our model system. Actually, I think it is the main reason why we are now discussing and why we are talking. We want to enrich our model system, its educational system of our university, website of our university. We want to enrich the system with foreign resources. Actually, why I emphasize it when I was explaining our university, I emphasize it on international medical education faculty, because we are expanding this faculty with a lot of number of students, and foreign students' interests are rising to study in our university. For this reason, we wish firstly to enrich our Moodle system. It is a remote educational portal of our university. And also most of our international students, they wish to work in US and other English-speaking countries, because education in our university is in English in foreign faculties. So for this reason, they want to be able to pass UCMLA examinations, for example, or Australian medical license examination, or Canadian, discussing how to unleash our students' dream. We decided it would be very beneficial integration with foreign resources, and for example, Elsevier. And ClinicalKey Student was, in our opinion, the best resource for the integration. On top of that, ClinicalKey Student has a tool which provides integration with our Moodle system. We also, to be honest, reviewed some other resources like Board and Beyonds and Emboss and others. Unfortunately, one drawback of these systems, they don't have a tool to integrate with the Moodle system. So it is our first plan and first direction. It is, of course, developing our Moodle system. And secondly, we are also planning to build new library for our students. And unfortunately, right now, we don't have enough number of books in foreign languages. So it is our second plan. Of course, there are some other plans like digitalization of our university. We are purchasing necessary equipment, computers, and so on. So I think the first year may be difficult being financial independence, but starting from next year, we hope everything will be good, especially if foreign partners like you will support us.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's great that you're investing so much in changing and updating and digitizing your education for your students. I'm curious, we started investing in medical education largely because there's been a shortage of clinicians around the world. Can you talk to us a bit about before the pandemic, what was the state of healthcare in Uzbekistan like? Are there large physician and nurse shortages there? Can you describe a bit more about like the healthcare system in Uzbekistan and then how that's changed because of the pandemic?
Of course, Samarkand State Medical University is one of the leading healthcare establishments in Uzbekistan. And it was before the pandemic also, but pandemic has increased significance of medical educational establishments in Uzbekistan. I think it is the same in all countries of the world. COVID-19 pandemic proved how healthcare professionals are essential to our life. And in Uzbekistan also, our government, and including the president of Uzbekistan, our current president is Shavkat Mirziyoyev. He, with government and with healthcare officials during the pandemic, conducted and adopted necessary laws which increase quota for medical institutions, especially for those faculties in which was shortage of the specialists. For example, our university increased quota for the students who study in infectious diseases. And also the average salary of healthcare professionals, doctors also has been increased before. And this year it's also planning to be increased because whole world, including Uzbekistan, also have seen how this profession, doctors, are important to provide healthy lifestyle in Uzbekistan. Another change, I would say, it is improving financial supply or financial aspects of the hospitals. In this regard, I cannot say exact numbers, but there was a significant increase. And the latest, as I mentioned before, on base of our university founding 6 scientific centers. So government and our university also paying more attention to scientific researchers. It is one of our weakest points, unfortunately. However, our university is trying to improve scientific aspect also.
That's very helpful. Thank you for that comprehensive overview. And it's great to hear that you have the government support in terms of both increasing the number of enrollments, the quota in the school, but also the salary of providers so that more people, stay in the profession for longer and decide to go into it.
Yes.
And as well, the research focus your university has. My last question for you is there anything else you'd like our audience to know a global medical education audience to know about yourself or Samarkand State Medical University or Uzbekistan in general?
On behalf of Samarkand State Medical University, we are very grateful for the Elsevier and for you, Osmosis and ClinicalKey Student. All these medical educational platforms has really helped during the trial period of subscription, and our students and especially our professors and the faculty members really impressed how it is useful, and especially interactive tools of ClinicalKey Student, which provides interaction between the students and professors, and also actually between our university and Elsevier. There is a long history of cooperation, and our university really hope this cooperation will develop and improve in next year and future also. And we really hope that Elsevier will continue support our university, especially when we are putting our first steps as being independent educational establishment in Uzbekistan. And I would like to note and to say to the people who are listening to our podcast that in Central Asia, in Uzbekistan, there is a university, Samarkand, an ancient country, Samarkand, and we are also trying to cooperate, and also we are on the way of collaboration of the worldwide and leading university of the US and European countries. And if you cooperate with us, we are always ready to work with you, and we are ready, whatever we can do.
That's wonderful. And I know our colleagues at Elsevier are very excited about this collaboration and partnership. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you all and help improve both medical training in Uzbekistan as well as the healthcare system overall. So thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate both of you hopping on.
Thank you.
And with that, I'd like to thank our audience for listening to this podcast and to remind them that this is a global issue of health education and overcoming the COVID pandemic. And together we can raise the line.
For more information on how you can help raise the line and flatten the curve, go to osmosis.org/COVID-19. If you like this podcast, please share it on your social channels. You can also subscribe to the series and check out all of our podcasts at osmosis.org/RaiseTheLinePodcast.